A very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Stephen George and our sign language interpreter tonight is Ivy Kamau. We have lots for you lined up for tonight, but first here are the highlights.
Na wale wanapiga kelele huko nje, agenda yao ni nini? Hana agenda, ni kusema tu sijui nini, one time, sijui nani. Sasa hawa jamaa tutawanyorosha. Tunangojea tu campaign ifike.
We are still in a flight mode, but when President Ruto launches the campaign engine, his opponents will be in for a rude shock. Deputy President Kindiki declares in Baringo.
The people who are joining university, we've already rationalized the university fees, and some of it has been reduced substantially so that each and every student is able to study the course that they want to study.
It's a game changer for access to higher education. Over 700,000 learners now have the backing they need to pursue their academic dreams. Tens of thousands of children are caught in the crossfire of a preventable disease, and time is running out to stop the outbreak. Three nations, one goal to showcase Africa's homegrown football talent on the biggest regional stage ever.
Now to our first story. Deputy President Professor Abraham Kiruki Kindiki Kithure has today continued with this two-term agenda on President Ruto's administration, stating that they are still in a flight mode. Still, they will be out for votes when President William Ruto opens up the floor for them. Kindiki, who was in Cabernet constituency in Baringo County, stated that President Ruto's opponents will be disappointed the moment President William Ruto launches his campaign machinery. Davis Karani reports.
Two-term, mama si two-term. Nyinyi mko kwa two-term? Ni two-term? Ya ukweli? Ama kuna njia ya mkato? Iko shortcut? Si ni two-term? Ya William Ruto? Two-term?
It is no longer a new phrase in town, especially in the political atmosphere. There is a two-term and a one-term dialogue spearheaded by the opposition and the government. And Kindiki today stood firm about their stand as the government.
Si umesikia tuko na program ya serikali? Kutoka mambo ya afya, mpaka elimu, mpaka masoko, mpaka barabara, mpaka stima. Sio ndio program na agenda ya serikali? Na wale wanapiga kelele huko nje, agenda yao ni nini? Hana agenda, ni kusema tu sijui nini, one time, sijui nani. Sasa hawa jamaa tutawanyorosha. Tunangojea tu campaign ifike. Unajua Rais William Ruto bado hajagurumisha engine ya gari yake ya campaign. Unajua watu waliona William Ruto usiku, hawajamuona mchana. Walimuona usiku, hamjui vizuri, hawakumuona vizuri. Bado hajapiga start engine ya gari yake ya siasa.
The DP stating on the Kenya Kwanza's plan to empower the youth and promote development in the country still echoed that Ruto's opponents are in for a shock due to his wide and huge experience in politics.
Wakati ukifika William Ruto agurumishe campaign equipment yake hivi, hawa wanaume wataingia kwa nyasi, kwa miti, watapotea. I am telling you. William Ruto anatosha atoshi. Fire si fire. Noma si noma. Hawa watu hawajui huyo jamaa. Najua mimi nimekuwa hapo tangu zamani. Na kuna watu wanatafikiria, watu wengine hata hawajashikilia kiti muhimu. Walipewa, wengine walipewa siku mbili wakaharibu. Badala ya kusaidia rais, unaenda kupigana na rais. Kazi ya kupigana na rais sio ya deputy president. Ni kazi ya opposition.
His sentiments were backed up by the broad-based proponents who escorted the DP in his empowerment forum in Baringo County while defending the broad-based government.
Mwaka uliopita, Kenya ilikuwa katika ile hali mbaya zaidi. Tulikuwa tumefika wakati serikali ilikuwa inaenda kupasuka. na tumeona kwamba katika nchi zingine serikali ikipasuka watu hupigana, na hata inafika pahali kwa nchi yako unaweza toka ukue refugee. Hii tumeona hapa pahali panaitwa DRC, tumeona hapa South Sudan, tumeona hapa Sudan, tumeona hapa mpaka Libya. Ilifika wakati watu wanachezea nchi yao na inaharibika, na inafika pahali unatoka unaenda kwingine unakuwa refugee. Baba Raila Amolo Odinga tukakaa naye chini tukamwambia, baba, kwa mjibu wa nchi yetu tushirikiane na rais wetu Ruto, si ndio? Ili tusimamishe serikali, tupate amani katika nchi yetu na tuendelee.
Wananchi mukae ndani ya ndani ya serikali yetu ya William Samoei na deputy wetu Profesa na tukue kangari, si ndio?
Davis Karani, GBS News, Nairobi.
Ni 2 term.
Government has lowered university fees in all public universities as part of a new funding model aimed at expanding access to higher education, with over 700,000 students set to benefit from increased financial support through loans and scholarships starting September, in a move that signals a major shift in education financing policy, as Beatrice Wangui reports.
The government has announced a significant reduction in university fees across all public institutions as it moves to expand access to higher education for over 700,000 learners. The new directive, revealed during Moi Teachers Training College 29th graduation ceremony in Baringo County, will see the implementation of a student-centered funding model beginning the 1st of September. This change will benefit first-year entrants and continuing students, with the aim of reducing financial barriers and improving equity in university admissions.
For the education sector, including university education, is the government's responsibility. And as of today, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Education wishes to reassure all Kenyans, especially students, parents, guardians, and our learning institutions, of the government's strong and ongoing commitment to supporting access to higher education for all deserving learners. The people who are joining university, we've already rationalized the university fees, and some of it has been reduced substantially so that each and every student is able to study the course that they want to study. We are pleased to confirm that both the HELP and Universities Fund have been facilitated by this government to disburse funds to universities and students.
Under the revised funding plan, government support will cover 201,696 first-year university students and over 237,000 students in technical and vocational education and training institutions, alongside 257,523 ongoing learners. To facilitate smooth implementation, the disbursement of loans from Higher Education Loans Board is scheduled to begin on the 15th of August, following an increase in the annual allocation from 36 billion to 41 billion Kenyan shillings. Students from the 2024 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education cohort have also been urged to apply for scholarships before the 31st of August deadline.
Applications for loans and scholarships for 2024 KCSE cohort placed by COOPS is ongoing. As of today, 129,403 university students and 60,976 TVET trainees have successfully submitted their scholarship and loan applications under the student-centered funding model. The application portal remains open until 31st of August 2025, and we encourage all eligible students who have not yet applied to do so before the deadline. This academic year, under the student-centered funding model, HELP and the Universities Fund expect to support 201,696 first-year university students and over 237,000 TVET trainees.
And I want to tell the nation as a member of Committee of Education that those things that you hear that there is no capitation, there is a problem, I want to assure you that there are resources for all the cadre of capitation in our country. Pesa iko na bunge iko. Sisi wabunge hapa, hakuna mbunge kwa Kenya anakubali ile gains yote tumepata kwa elimu irudi nyuma. Na rais amewahakikishia na mimi na Gandia hapa tunawahakikishia that there are enough resources to ensure that education becomes a success story.
The Education Ministry has also reaffirmed its commitment to capitation for basic education, emphasizing that it is a constitutional right for all learners. In Parliament, members of the Education Committee expressed confidence in the availability of adequate resources to support the revised funding model, promising that any shortfalls would be addressed in future supplementary budgets. Meanwhile, Moi Teachers Training College graduated 272 students in its final ceremony at the current location, which will now be repurposed for the newly established Cabinet University set to open this September. Beatrice Wangoi, GBS News.
Excellent report there by Beatrice Wangoi. Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru has asked the national government to prioritize buying all the locally produced rice before allowing importation of duty-free product. Waiguru said that while it is understandable that the country does not produce enough rice to meet the national demand, it is only imperative that priority is given to local rice farmers. She warned that the planned importation of 500,000 metric tons of milled white rice, announced in a notice by Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury John Badi, would hurt Moya rice farmers. Her appeal comes after Gazette notice by CS Badi allowing directive importation of duty grade 1 rice on or before 31st of December 2025. The move has been criticized by farmers in the rice growing scheme of Moya, who are now concerned.
Kirinyaga County, just like it's number 2 in coffee production, and 25% of the entire coffee revenues in Kenya come from Kirinyaga. We are number 1 in rice production, not only in Kenya, but in the region. According to economics, najua tutaambiwa mchele ambayo sisi tunakuza haitoshi kulisha Kenya mzima. Lakini kabla hamjaleta mchele kutoka nje, tafadhali store zetu za Mwea zimejaa mchele. Mungechukua hiyo mchele ambayo iko kwa store, alafu ndio sasa tuende maneno ya kuongezea mchele kutoka nje, si ndio? Kwa sababu nisiposema hivyo, wakulima wetu watasema gavana wetu anaangalia tukiteseka na amenyamaza.
Kirinyaga is the rice growing area. Saingine, some things does not add up. When we see the free importation of rice coming to this country, whereas we have our farmers who have toiled, ambayo tuko na excess rice in Mwea and other parts of the country, and then we see duty-free rice coming in. So we want to ask His Excellency the President, kindly His Excellency the President, engage the CS National Treasury who did those exemptions. Because we need our farmers to continue getting market for the rice. But when you bring this duty-free, mchele, it will flood this country.
Teachers from Malava constituency have called for urgent government intervention to address critical challenges in their schools, including poor infrastructure, delayed pensions, and limited access to higher education. During a high-level meeting with the Prime Cabinet Secretary in Nairobi, an engagement that marked a renewed push by educators to secure lasting reforms and improve learning conditions in Western Kenya. Here are the details.
Teachers from Malava constituency met with the Prime Cabinet Secretary in Nairobi to push for urgent reforms in education sector and improved welfare for educators. The meeting brought together over 70 teacher representatives who used the opportunity to highlight the challenges they face, including poor infrastructure, delayed pensions, and inadequate learning resources.
Kuna baadhi yetu ambao ni walimu kama wengine wamesema, na tungependa tuunge mkono serikali jinsi mwenzangu alivyosema.
I'm talking to you because you are not just Malaba citizens. You are opinion shapers. You are the movers and shakers. I want you to help us put Malaba in the right direction.
In a memorandum presented during the meeting, the teachers outlined specific needs, such as new classrooms, laboratories, administration blocks, and information and communication technology center in various schools. They also called for timely payment of retirement benefits and the expansion of higher learning institutions in the region. The educators emphasized that such changes would improve teaching conditions and raise education standards for learners in Malava.
You must give direction. You must start shaping the narrative at the grassroots. Because you are listened to. Your voice is not a joke. The voice of the people in this room and the several others, thousands that have been left in Malaba is so significant. So let us be that itiro, that pillar that will help Malaba make a good decision for the people of Malaba.
Teachers affirmed their role as community leaders and key contributors to national development. They expressed their readiness to continue engaging with government officials, including the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to ensure long-term solutions are implemented. Their message was clear: investing in teachers is investing in the country's future. Beatrice Wangoi, GBS News.
Well, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming at the social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21114. We'll be right back.
So today's topic is Rising Stars, young people who create, influence, and inspire. So
on an honest note, creating is hard work, and there are people who I see their work and they're constantly pushing themselves. Like wanajipush, kujipush, like they're putting creativity up top over there.
I think no one also prepares you for the fact that the better you become.
Your networking is also very good. You see, there are people who have passion for, you know, videography, creating videos, editing. There are people passionate about that. If you are someone who talks and you meet people and you love people, you'll definitely meet someone who's just waiting to shoot you.
But also in terms of what I put out, it goes back to what are your values? What are your values? What are your beliefs? So as much as this is trending, yes, that is trending. Does it align with your values? Does it align with your beliefs?
You can be a star without the star position. Si lazima ukue hapo mbele ya watu. Si lazima wewe ndo ukue star, ndo ukue star. Hata ukiwa hapa chini, wewe bado ni star. And as she has said, discipline is a big thing.
Welcome to Fun Dance Class. Today we will continue learning about Jingle Bell Rock. Friends, first you cross your arm and put it on top of your head, and as you go in left side, you open it, then you come back to your place.
And then you make your leg 90 degrees, and then as you put your legs until 90 degrees, you need to jump a bit. 1, 2. Then as you jump a bit, you need to stretch your hands downwards.
what is the problem? The problem, people don't want to hear the voice of Jesus, and they don't want to live through the voice of Jesus. But most of the time, people are living their life of struggling. The people who died before receiving Jesus Christ, the people who died in sin, those people, they will go to the judgment, they will go to the fire, and those people will say that they are dead because they will face the second death, which is the hellfire. People without knowing this, people think that, no, I should do something. No, I need to do something. Why? Because they don't know exact heart of God. They don't know exact will of God. And through this, God allowed His goodness. God allowed the problems in our life. And when God allowed this goodness leads us to
everywhere. GBS.
And welcome back. Kenyans told to be wary of leaders peddling empty slogans. Kenya Kwanza and Orange Democratic Movement ODM leaders have today called on Kenyans to be wary of people out there to divide the country along tribal lines using empty slogans. Speaking during an economic empowerment funds drive in Game constituency, Siaya County, the leaders, among the members of parliament and President William Ruto's aide, Farouk Kibet, described the opposition leaders engaging in anti-government campaign as people without alternative agenda to offer the country. Led by the National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, the legislators said relentless negativity was not good for the country and challenged the opposition to come up with a well-grounded plan and programs that will uplift the Kenyan lives. Ichung'wah said the President and Ruto's government had achieved a lot and helped revive the economy, which was on the brink of collapse.
Secondary school, what about? Na ile kazi imetuleta hapa ya economic empowerment ndiyo kazi ambayo tumesema sisi wote kutoka baba Raila Amolo Odinga, Rais William Ruto, Deputy President wetu Kithure Kindiki, hawa viongozi mmeona hapa kutoka kona zote za Kenya. Sababu kwa serikali ya broad-based government tulisema tuunganisha Wakenya wote ili maendeleo ifikie Mkenya yeyote mahala popote alipo. Na ndio leo mnaona tumekusanyika viongozi kutoka kona zote tukisukuma mbele ajenda ya mwananchi wa Kenya wa kawaida akiwemo mwananchi wa hapa Game. Sababu wakati tulifanya campaign, mnajua tulikuwa milengo tofauti. Baba Raila Amolo Odinga na mlengo wake wa Azimio alikuwa na agenda ambayo ilikuwa agenda ya kupeleka Kenya mbele. Sisi tukiwa Kenya Kwanza tulikuwa na agenda ya kupeleka Kenya mbele. Na ndio uliona wakati tumeingia kwa broad-based government, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga ametuambia ile agenda ya housing ambayo inapea vijana ajira, ambayo inapea watu manyumba ya kifahari, manyumba ya kisasa. Hiyo agenda ya housing akiwa waziri, yeye ndiye alianzisha, akaanzisha pale Kibra, na ndiyo inaendelea na ilikuwa kwa manifesto ya Azimio na manifesto ya chama cha ODM. Tukasema kama manifesto zetu zinaambatana, kama tuliwaambia Wakenya tukifanya campaign, tutawasaidia wale walioko pale chini waweze kupanda juu. Kwa Kenya Kwanza tukasema agenda yetu ni ya bottom up. Tukaita the bottom up economic transformation agenda. Ilikuwa na mambo ya kusaidia wachuuzi wadogo, vijana wa bodaboda, wamama kwa group zao, wazee, ili wale wako na biashara ndogo tunapoendelea na ujenzi wa manyumba, barabara na kuunganisha stima. Wakati masoko zinajengwa, tutayarishe wananchi ambao wataingia kwa zile masoko zinajengwa wakiwa na capital ya kutosha ya kufanya biashara. Na hiyo ndio kazi imetuleta hapa.
A high-level meeting on the DRC peace process was held at State House, Nairobi. On the 1st of August, the event brought together leaders from the East African Community and the Southern African Development Community, co-chaired by President William Ruto of Kenya and Zimbabwe's President Emerson Also in attendance was former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who now serves as Kenya's peace envoy and facilitator of the Nairobi-led peace initiative. His presence signaled the gravity and regional importance of the talks. The main goal of the meeting was to align the two major peace initiatives for the DRC, the Nairobi process and the Luanda process, into a single unified approach. By streamlining these efforts, leaders hope to improve mediation efforts and find long-lasting solutions to the ongoing conflict in eastern Congo.
The situation in DRC continues to be dire. There is a humanitarian situation, there is a serious security situation, and instability that not only affects eastern DRC, not only affects DRC and Rwanda, but also affects our region. And that is the reason why we took the step as heads of state and government of EAC and SADC to present this matter to the Summit of the African Union in January this year, after the two processes, the Nairobi process and the Luanda process, achieved some results, but were not sufficient to deal with the situation in eastern DRC. Our proposal to the Africa Union Summit of Heads of State was endorsed to merge the processes into one coherent process, and instructed that EAC SADC undertake that exercise, which we have done, and today marks a turning point that there is now one African-led process that brings on board all the other initiatives, Nairobi, Luanda, and any other initiative, into one coherent process on the situation in eastern DRC. We have also merged not just the structure, we have also merged the terms of reference, and we have also merged the secretariats and provided for a coherent mechanism of putting together the necessary resources so that any actor who wants to participate in this exercise now knows where to take any other initiative. And also, whenever we need any resources, and whoever is willing to participate in this process by way of contributing resources of whatever nature, now have a coherent mechanism under the Africa Union with one secretariat to be able to undertake this process.
Excellency Dr. William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Chair of the East African Community, Your Excellency Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Chair of the Southern African Development Community, Your Excellencies, former heads of state, members of the Committee of Facilitators, Your Excellency, the Secretary General of the East African Community, Your Excellency, the Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community, Your Excellencies, Ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, at the outset, thank Kenya and His Excellency President William Ruto for hosting this very important meeting. I also express the Commission's deep appreciation to President Ruto and President Mnangagwa for their leadership, dedication, and commitment. It is indeed a great source of satisfaction that our leaders devote time and energy to try and resolve crises on the continent. I can only praise their efforts and pay tribute to you all for this genuine engagement. Your Excellencies, Eastern DRC has been a decades a theater of mayhem and suffering. Population in Eastern DRC has been submitted to endless displacement, killing, and chronic insecurity for more than 3 decades. Over the past few months, there's a glimmer of hope shaping up, and giving all of us reasons to believe that this time around, peace could be reached among all stakeholders. The African Union Commission salutes the Washington Agreement, signed between Rwanda and DRC, and the Declaration of Principles signed between M23 and the government of DRC in Doha. However, The African Union underlines the centrality of its mediation role in all the crises of our continent. Now, it is paramount to capitalize on any breakthrough or progress that can bring peace and stability to our member countries. However, there is a need for better coordination and more coherence if we are to succeed in the implementation process of those agreements. Besides, the Commission urges all stakeholders to tackle the root causes of the problem in a holistic manner. Agreements can be meaningful and can be game changers if and only if they are implemented on the ground. It takes courage and wisdom to seek compromise when tough decisions are needed, and I'm convinced that our leaders in the region can make it happen. The African Union Commission and the Peace and Security Council and the African Union mediator are fully committed to accompany the process. I would like to seize this opportunity to express the African Union Commission appreciation for our leaders in this region for their tireless efforts for the sake of peace in Eastern DRC. I also welcome our former presidents, members of the Committee of Facilitators, whose wisdom and experience will be of great help during the next stages of the peace process in Eastern.
A deadly cholera outbreak is sweeping across West and Central Africa, fueled by heavy rains and flooding. Tens of thousands of children are now at risk at healthcare systems in countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Nigeria struggle to cope. Here is more on this growing crisis and the urgent efforts underway to stop it from spreading further.
Heavy rains and severe flooding across West and Central Africa are triggering a major cholera outbreak, putting around 80,000 children at serious risk. The Democratic Republic of Congo and Nigeria are the hardest hit, with thousands of cases overwhelming already, weakening the health systems. Neighboring countries including Chad, Ghana and Cameroon are on high alert as the disease threatens to spread further. In the DRC, over 38,000 cases and nearly 1,000 deaths were reported in July alone, with many of those affected being young children. Poor sanitation and limited access to clean water in provinces like South Kivu and Tanganyika are driving the crisis. Chad and Nigeria are also grappling with rising infections, especially in overcrowded refugee sites and displaced communities. UNICEF is calling for urgent action to scale up access to safe water, sanitation, and medical care to contain the outbreak. Without swift and coordinated response, the situation could worsen rapidly, putting vulnerable families across the region at even greater risk. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
Now to the weekly Boomerang edition is here with the juicy happenings in the political and societal arena. All unpacked for you what really boomeranged this whole week. Have a look.
This is the Boomerang Weekly Edition. I'm your Boomerang Captain and Pilot, Victor Jing Kasango. A word of prayer from you.
I am not a bishop.
Sure.
I am not a bishop.
But
I have made a commitment that when I am done with being president, I will be an evangelist.
It seems bedbugs are even in State House, and they are each in Kasongo and to Western Kenya. The Tawe movement is rattled.
President Ruto akiingia kwa siasa akikuwa high school, Mudavadi alikuwa minister.
High school?
High school. High school. Akikuwa high school. Musalia Mudavadi alikuwa waziri katika serikali ya Mzee Moi. Boss, miaka imeenda mpaka saa hizi tena Ruto ambaye alikuwa high school anaandika Mudavadi waziri. Wanangangania wale wote wanasema Musalia Mudavadi anasema hii namba 3. Wetangula anasema hii namba 3.
Which is which?
So which is which?
No. And to the bullfighter.
Kindiki umeambia watu wa Kakamega kwamba ati gavana wa Kakamega 2027 Barasa 2 term. Kindiki, wewe kama umeshindwa kudhibiti Rigathi Gachagua kwenu, usifikiri hapa ndio utakuja kuamua ni nani atateuliwa na ni nani atanyimwa kura.
Some of the crooks making noise here, tutawatuma nyumbani one way.
Hapa Kakamega Kindiki, sikia vizuri. I am your senior. 2027, Dr. Boni Khalwale will be the governor of Kakamega.
Weta amepatikana.
You are the first speaker in the history of Kenya, Wetangula. Mwenye anabebwa na garani ya rais ndio muende vitu ya empowerment. That is not the work of the speaker.
And how do they behave before Kasongo?
Wetangula, bibi yako ni dada ya bibi ya Kenneth Marende. Chifunze kwa Kenneth Marende, Ole Kaparo, how a speaker conducts himself. Kwa sababu Wetangula akienda huko, Mudavadi akienda huko, unyo bi mwenye nyote na bangwa ichia, bi mwenye bangwa ichia.
Mansevo, the Banyankole elder, is here.
The only thing I need to sensitize you is our tribal things.
How do they say Ruto must go?
The Wachiga say must go, so me I say must go.
Straight to the dance hall.
Some of us are excellent dancers.
Accusations?
And even people have been accusing me to dance, that I danced before Farouk Kibet.
Yup.
Mr. Speaker, me I dance. Even I was suspended in Form 2.
For what?
For dancing.
Mr. DJ.
Weka muziki, muziki, muziki.
Asante, asante, asante.
Boss.
And in Nakuru, love boomerang. A sexual ordeal gone orgy. Despite all these, madness will never cease. Why? Who killed who? Another one.
Kwa club garage. Polisi wa hapa ni waregevu wallahi, na si uongo, na siwezi kosa kusema hivyo. Kisha na maana hata ukiscream, hata wakiwa hapa nje, kwanza wanaonea wanawake. Mwanzo wanasemaga nyinyi mnajiuza, hiyo ni kazi yenu.
Another one.
Hata tumalizia madema hapa hivi. Wewe unasikia vizuri tena unakuja unaua tena. Hiyo ni nini?
Nyinyi ni shanzi sa.
Every blame on Gava.
Na hii serikali imetuchosha.
Sio watu ni washenzi.
Mr. Soprano, prove that you have a base.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Yes.
Finally, watch this to the end.
Mnaona Malala kama mwanamke msichana mwenye ameanza kumea matiti. Mnaona huyo msichana vile anatembea? Anatembea amejipendeza Malala na kujipenda kwako. Kwa maana wewe ni kama msichana mwenye anapea matiti. Tunakuambia ya kwamba Malava ina wenyewe. Kama ni uongo, viti ndio hiyo.
Nyinyi ni shanzi sa.
Order.
Just hold on.
Point of order.
No, hold on, madam. Please. Let me just guide. Just hold on.
But you know, you cannot just put on record and say a report is irrelevant.
No, allow me to present my case.
So that we can
Madam
be able to
Tabitha, stop
interrogate the
ring-fencing or
report.
defending. Honorable John can defend himself.
I'm not defending. I'm just trying to
No,
allow.
let me say my case.
But you just walked in. You should
No,
look at the report
I was
that the
here. I went
minister
for
has
another
presented.
committee. Stop stopping me to do my job. This is the problem with us. Okay. Allow me to make my case. Onyonka. Order. Onyonka. You don't have to shite or bang. You've just served the purpose you've come in to do. Okay? No. You've just served the purpose you've come in to do, which is make your political statement. Honorable Mbadi.
Weka muziki, muziki, muziki.
Asante. And that is the Boomerang Weekly Edition. I'm your Boomerang Captain and Pilot, Victor Jing.
Wow, interesting. It is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming at our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. We'll be right back.
Anza wiki yako kwa njia sahihi
kwa GBS Jumatatu.
Niko nawe hadi mida ya saa 4 asubuhi. Kwanza niseme asante kwa kuzidi kufuatilia na kutazama vipindi vyetu ambavyo huwa tunakuandalia hapa ndani ya GBS TV Jumatatu. People are now seeing the money that have been given to church as a bribe.
Jiunge nasi kila Jumatatu asubuhi kuanzia saa 1:30.
Nimesikia mwenzangu akifanya hesabu hapo ya vile ambavyo miungano zitakuwa. Ruto is going to fail whether with Raila or without Raila.
Kuna mahali anakosea akisema ati Raila na Ruto wataungana. Hakuna kuungana iko hapo, ndugu yangu, acha nikwambie ukweli.
Hadithi za kunoga.
Ukiangalia Wakenya, wananchi wa Kenya, pia hao maisha yao imedhulumiwa kwa kuongezwa kwa taxes, ziko very high taxes. So the statement by Rigathi Gachagua is just statement ya kumcheck that we can see you we can see between the lines.
Na mazungumzo yenye nguvu ya kukuletea utulivu kwa wiki yako.
Ati Raila ataingia UDA.
Hiyo ni ndoto. Mimi yote nasema hivi mheshimiwa, ikiwa Raila
itakuwa, mimi naona itakuwa
hadi saa 4 za asubuhi kwa majadiliano ya kusisimua.
Mheshimiwa Rais William Samoei Ruto ajue ya kwamba sasa yeye ni president wa Kenya. Sio mambo ya kufanyia wana Kenya mzaha. Kupoteza biashara kwa siku moja katika CPD, nafikiria ni jambo ambalo ni rais.
Usikose, ingia kwenye GBS TV. Anza Jumatatu yako kwa kusudi.
If the government does not spend, my brother, hakuna maendeleo inaonekana, hakuna barabara zinatengenezwa, hakuna dawa kwa hospitali, my friend, economies will not grow.
Tuonane panapo majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu.
GBS Jumatatu, palipo mjadala wa leo na mwelekeo wa kesho.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. It is time for your most favorite segment of the show, the sports news. Let's get sporty. The Safari Rally Kenya will take place on the weekend of March from the 12th to 15th, 2026 as part of a newly approved 14-round FIA World Rally Championship calendar that spans across 4 continents. The 2026 calendar released by the FIA sees Kenya listed as the 3rd round of the season following Monte Carlo in Sweden. Kenya will host its gravel rally just a month later, continuing its legacy as one of the most challenging and picturesque events on the WRC roster. Kenya's place in the WRC has been under renewed deal since 2020, with the original 5-year contract extended by 1 more year, marking 2026 a potential decisive year for the future of the rally in the country. The full calendar also includes notable rounds in Croatia, Spain, Portugal, Japan, Greece, and new season closer in Chile, Italy, and Saudi Arabia on the 15th of November. Notably, the opening half of the year brings a welcome mix of surface, asphalt rallies in Croatia, the Canary Island, and Japan complement the snow of Sweden, and gravel outings in Kenya and Portugal, ensuring variety from the very start of the season. The FIA President Mohammed Ben said the 2026 WRC calendar Uganda is a powerful reflection of the championship's global strength and appeal. It combines the heritage of iconic rallies with the return of newer events in the regions where participation and interest in rallying continues to grow. Football Kenya Federation and SportsPesa have announced a landmark 10-year sponsorship agreement worth 1.1 billion shillings for the FKF Premier League. Have a look.
And I think it's been a long time coming. I'm sure majority of you are excited as I am in terms of what this sponsorship means, not only for KPL, but for football in totality. I think it's about time corporates saw the potential in our local football and invested in it.
I think today we can really celebrate SportPesa coming back into sports and SportPesa supporting football the way it should have been from the beginning.
It is a historic moment for the East African football. For the first time ever, Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda are co-hosting the African Nation Championship, better known as CHAN. With 19 teams and only locally based players competing, the tournament kicks off this Saturday in Dar es Salaam.
This Saturday, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania are set to make history as the first three countries to co-host the African Nations Championship, known as CHAN. The 19-team tournament kicks off in Dar es Salaam and runs through August 30th, featuring only players from domestic clubs. That means no international stars, just homegrown talent getting the spotlight. Group A features two-time champions Morocco, alongside hosts Kenya, Angola, Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Over in Group C, co-host Uganda will face Algeria, Guinea, Niger and South Africa. Uganda has appeared in 6 of the last 7 CHAN tournaments, but has never reached the knockout stage. With home support, they are hoping this is finally their year. Senegal, who are the defending champions, begin their title defense on August 5th in Zanzibar against Nigeria, one of the standout fixtures in the group stage. CHAN is more than just a football tournament. It's a celebration of African talent and a major step towards the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, which will also be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. Elvin Muyodi, GBS Sports.
Well, we've come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time, same channel. My name is Stephen George, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Ivy Kamau. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.